job, get in. Now there's lots of reasons why you'd want your dog to move into this heel position, whether you're training them to walk on a loose leash, you're trying to stop them from jumping up on someone or something, or you're just trying to get control of them in a really busy environment. Sure is busy here in New York City. A lot of people here at the DMV. Lots of hustle and bustle here in Egypt. It's actually a green screen, but you get the point. Actually, for those of you who are really paying close attention, totally different dog too. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to do this exercise with your dog so that your dog moves into your side reliably. I'm Ken Steep, this is Funky Monkey, and welcome back to McCann Dogs. Now our helper for this week is our young border collie named Beeline, and if you have a friendly dog, Beeline's a little bit of a wiggle bum, and if you have a friendly dog then you're really going to want to use some very valuable treats, something that they really like. If you're not sure what that might be for your dog, then you should definitely check out our video on the best homemade dog training treats. You know, we help over 500 dogs every single week to be well-behaved family members, and there aren't many dogs who can resist the temptation of the treats that we talk about in that video. But getting back to things, I want you to be using a treat or some sort of reward for your dog that they really like. And for Beeline today, I've got some peanut butter Zooks treats, which I know that she really finds tasty. So all I want to do is just move her around a little bit. You'll see me luring her around, getting her really comfortable with the idea of following the food. And then we're going to move to step 2. Now, if you're trying to teach your dog to move into the heel position, it's really important that they aren't already sitting beside you. You know, there's no sense in trying to lure them into that position if they're already there. For Beeline, I'm actually going to use this treat and I'm going to move her from in front of me in beside me. And when I talk about getting into that heel position, I'm actually going to use the phrase get in. And I'm going to show you how powerful those two words can be, you know, after a few repetitions of just showing Beeline. So at first, before we give her that command, I'm just going to show her this treat and I'm going to bring her in at my side. Now there's a couple things. Good girl. Good, so she followed that really well, and as she remains in position, I can yes and reward her. But there's a couple of really important things that we need to focus on that happen there, and Beeline moved into that position so quickly, I'm going to slow it down and show you exactly what I mean. So have a look at this closely. I'm using my hand, I'm using my hand to bring Beeline behind me, and then I'm turning my knuckles around. I'm bringing my knuckles to face forward, and that'll allow me to bring her up into my side and line her up really easily. Good girl, good, get in. Nice job. So I want you to focus on that. A lot of people really struggle as they bring their dog around and then they can't turn their shoulder. So the moment I get Beeline into my side, I'll show you again. Okay, B. As I bring Beeline past the plane of my body, I flip my knuckles forward. You see that? And I bring her forward and ask her to sit. Good job, buddy. Way to go. Now, we don't want to have to depend on having food in our hands as we're asking our dog to get into that heel position. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to try that exact same thing with no food in your hands, but try to make it look like you do have food in your hands. This will present the same picture to your dog, and you can have the same expectations of them as you're working it. So we're going to tell Beeline to get in. Good girly. And sit. Yes, good job, Bee. Very nice. And you can absolutely reward them for a job well done once they're there. You just don't have food in your luring hand as you're showing them how to get into position. As we're working towards having this skill on the verbal only, we need to reduce the amount that we're actually luring the dog. So let's try this with Beeline. Okay, and I'm going to reduce the actual hand signal that I've got. I might use still a little bit more body motion because I know she'll follow that well, but I won't use quite as much hand. And this is all working towards the point where we can do this entirely on a verbal, but I'm going to tell her the exact same thing. Get in, and then move back a little bit, maybe a little less hand, ask her to sit. Beautiful. Yes, good girl. And when she moves into that position, she gets rewarded. Now, as you're training your dog at home, if there's a point where, you know, they just didn't seem to understand it as well, take a step back, make it a little bit easier for them. But the most important part is that you lead every time with that phrase, and for us it's get in, and then moving into that get in position until you're at a point where you can just ask your dog to get in on verbal only. Now, if Beeline were to make a mistake, after I've moved her into that get in position and Beeline were to get up and out of position, it's really simple. All I need to do is just move her back. I'll guide her back with my leash, place her in position, and then praise her. You know, I'm not mad about it. She just doesn't have a clear understanding of my expectation of her that she needs to remain in position. And I'm going to reward her after she's spent a few seconds in that get in position. Yes, good girl. A really important thing to keep in mind is that there's no tension on your leash. A lot of people, when they start this position, they'll hold their dog there. It's really important Beeline gets a chance to make a choice, to remain in position. That way I can reward her when she doesn't move. The other great part about having a loose leash when your dog is in this position is that we can move to a leash dragging scenario as she's in training. Maybe we're working in a tough, distracting environment and I'd like to have her leash dragging. Or we can go to a totally off-leash scenario where she still remains in that get-in position and I can reward her as such, but she's not dependent on that tension on her leash for her to remain there. Make sure you take your time with this exercise. The progressions are relatively small, but it's really important that your dog has a thorough understanding of what you expect of them before you take the next step. And that way you'll have that really reliable sit and start position with your dog, or your get in to heel position with your dog, and you can know that they're going to remain there, and you really know that they understand what you're asking of them. Now, if this is your first time on the channel and you consider your dog a member of the family, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We publish new videos every single week to help you to have a well-behaved four-legged family member. That video beside me is actually a playlist of some of our live streams where we've helped some of our subscribers to overcome their dog training challenges. On that note, I'm Ken. This is Little Beeline. Happy training.